Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the game that I'm never able to finish on stream. I kid. Well, kinda. This is Bloodborne. Hi, it's one of my favorite games of all time. This might be... Oh. It's close. This might be my favorite, FromSoft RPG. I think that there's a lot about this game to love. There's a reason why it's like very, very beloved and people want to remake really bad. I think playing through this game semi-recently, I was like, okay, yeah, some of the age is showing. But I have a lot of love for this game, and despite that, I've never been able to actually finish a full playthrough on stream before. So I've never been able to do a full run of the game for other people to watch and enjoy. It's a weird game, you know? It's locked on the PlayStation 4, and so a lot of the times streaming it has been dealing with a lot of technical issues or bosses that I'm trying to just talk about, like, oh, this is this phase, and like, that's pretty cool, I'll get stuck on, even though I've beaten them many, many times over. But I've been really wanting to play through this game again. So I thought, hey, you know what? Instead of trying to sit down and stream this game and deal with all of the technical headaches that come with it, I'm just gonna record myself playing through it and put it out as an LP. So I can do it in smaller chunks. We can take more time to like go through areas and really analyze and talk through some of them, but also just to enjoy the game and show off what is, I think, probably... I mean, it's certainly not the most beloved FromSoft RPG. I think that it's underappreciated, which sounds weird for a game that is objectively kind of a cult classic. But I really hope that more people get to play this game very soon. Fingers crossed still for a remake or a remaster. I think personally, if I had to pick one, I would give it the Dark Souls remastered treatment. I think that was a really, really good update to the game. Brought a lot of quality of life without changing too much. I think that this game really deserves something like that. But anyway, we're gonna dig into it. So here we go. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Pale blood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Okay, so we built this character previously. Didn't save to the favorites, so that was fun. But we rebuilt them. Look, it's me. Kinda. I mean, it's mostly me. Let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, there I am. I kinda look like somewhere between my actual self and Bloodborne anime John Lennon, which I have complicated feelings about, but that's okay. So this is Cryptid. And we're going to go through just the origins. I'm not going to go through too many of the character builder options. If you want to see all of the crazy bullshit you can build in the character builder, I highly recommend you check out something like Monster Factory, or I have some other streams where I have made horrible monstrosities like a goblin woman or a man who looks like a toucan. Um, but yeah, so that's the character creator. This time we made just a pretty normal looking dude. But we're gonna go through the origins real quick. Hey, look, it's Milk Toast. This is just everything average. This is a perfectly fine start. It's especially good if you don't really know what you want yet. I don't know that I've ever actually started Milk Toast. Usually I pick one of the more specialized builds. I've gone through this game a couple of times. I'm trying to think of what we want our main weapon to be. I think the actual strategy is going to be we're going to build a quality character so that we can use most of the weapons in the game. I can show off like movesets and stuff, and that'll be kind of fun and cool. But I think ultimately I might actually end up going for something like Skill Arcane, or just like Strength Skill, a really like true quality build. And we might do a little bonus episode where I show you how to do a run through one of the Chalice dungeons. After the first Chalice dungeon, you can enter a Glyph dungeon and actually get the uncanny version of the Burial Blade, which is normally a boss weapon that you get at the very, very end of the game, so you can only use it in New Game Plus. But I think it would be very cool to use that for this LP because a lot of people don't actually get to see playthroughs with the Burial Blade. But I'll double check the scaling on that kind of stuff, and we will take a look through that later. But for right now, let's go through the backgrounds. Milk Toast, everything average, perfectly fine start. You're probably going to have wasted stats if you know what you're doing and you know what you want to build for. But if you don't know what you want to build for, Milk Toast is decent. Lone Survivor. Hey, are you new to the game? Whether it's Bloodborne or FromSoft RPGs in general, pick Lone Survivor. Just do it. This is not a joke. Vitality is objectively the most important and probably the most powerful stat in the game. Vitality, unlike other FromSoft titles, in Bloodborne, not only upgrades your maximum health, also upgrades how much blood vials heal you for. So, as you get more vitality, you actually get more out of your healing items, which is wild, to say the least. But this is also a really good start because it starts you at 11 strength and 10 skill, which I believe is enough for you to wield the vast majority of weapons until the mid-game. So I highly recommend Lone Survivor if you are new to the game. Troubled Childhood, hey, look at that. Big skill, big endurance, not so meaty, very, very squishy on your vitality, starting at 9. This is a good build if you want to go straight dex. If you're like, I know I'm doing dex weapons, I know I like fast, quick, like weapons where I'm zooming around and doing lots of stuff. This is a great start for that. Violent Past. Hey, big strong boy. Big strang is what I just said. Big strong boy. You get 15 strength to start, which is nothing to be scoffed at. Normally, I recommend when you're building your character early game, you build up to 15 in whatever stats you want to invest in. So this is a pretty good start if you're like, I like big heavy weapons, I want the big slow. Professional, big skill. It's troubled childhood plus more. Um, Professional is like, hey, I know that I'm good at the game. I can start with a really high damage stat. Troubled Childhood is the version where you're like, hey, I need some more endurance, because I might like want to do more. Like I want more actions before I need to back off. Professional is much, much more aggressive, but similarly, you start at 9 vit, which makes you very, very squishy. Military veteran, hey, look, it's a quality build. If you are like, I don't care about firearms, I don't care about hunter tools, I don't like using magic in games, I just want to swing a sword good, military veteran is probably your start. Um, Not much else to say about it, it's just a really solid quality start. It might actually be the start that we pick, because I believe 14 strength, 13 skill is enough for almost every weapon in the game. I say almost because I don't know off the top of my head. It's been a few years. This game's from 2015, if anyone's wondering. Alright, Noble Scion. Hey, do you want to be skill and you also want a fire gun? This is your start. You start at 7 vit, which is, I think, objectively the lowest vit start, except for... Nope, Waste of Skin starts higher than Noble Scion. Yeah, no, straight up, this is just take a hit and you're dead. I wouldn't recommend anyone start Noble Scion unless you really know what you're doing and you really know what you're going for. This is a build that you start here and you very quickly become slotted into some of the strongest weapons in the game and some of the most popular weapons in the game, because it is skill and blood tinge. Blood tinge is a complicated stat. I don't super recommend it for most people. I've done a little bit of a blood tinge build and found that it was not the most enjoyable experience, especially because you really don't get most of the tools you want for a blood tinge build until late mid game into like full on DLC end game kind of stuff. So that's what that is. Alright, Cruel Fate. Hey, do you want to use hunter tools? Do you want to use magic? Are you a big magic boy? Or girl? Or non-binary person like myself? Then Cruel Fate. Pretty good start. You start with 14 arcane. Again, similar to Noble Scion, I wouldn't recommend this start unless you know what you're doing. If you know that you want to do the arcane weapons, cool. Arcane is a stat that is hard to get use out of in the early game. Most of the arcane weapons are like late early game into like mid game. But also, I think that arcane scaling doesn't really pick up until you are a decent way into the game. And then there is Waste of Skin. This is your blood level 4 start. This is equivalent to... Oh shoot, what are the different builds? There's like... Dark Souls 1, it's the one where you start with the club and the loincloth. This is that start. Very few wasted stats at all. You start at blood level 4, so your first few levels are very, very cheap. Or if you're a crazy person, you can do a blood level 4 run and just never level up anything. And I think that locks you into like 2 or 3 weapons for the whole game. yeah, I feel like it probably goes without saying. I don't recommend Waste of Skin. If you are a new player, or even really if you're a veteran player, unless you're like really into uh the absolute min-maxing. I know that there are people who get really into like, well, all the other starts have wasted stats in places you don't want or need it, and Waste of Skin doesn't. It's like, yeah, I guess that's technically true, but it's such a slog early on. But so that being said, Lone Survivor is really solid. I really like starting Lone Survivor. But we're probably gonna go. Ooh. Starting at 7 Arcane versus 6 Arcane. It might be Lone Survivor. Straight up. We could also start Milquetoast. That does not leave a lot of wasted stats. But yeah, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. No, you know what? We're gonna start Lone Survivor. I just like it. I like it too much. Starting at 14 bit is just so good. All right, let's get ready to go, gang. Finalizing the contract. Here's a fun fact. The first time I played this game, I didn't have the day one patch because my PlayStation did not have internet access, and so these loading screens were like minutes long, and no item descriptions.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Ah, you found yourself a hunter.
They found me. It's me. I'm a hunter. All right. First things first. Oh, that's a that's not the angle I expected to hit when I made the camera go that way. First things first. Screw the sullied bandage. It's gross. Also screw the hood. I want my face and my hair to flow in the wind. There are penalties, I believe, for not having armor on. Yeah. Like, fully there are penalties for me taking this stuff off, but it's just not as fun when you can't be like, "Oh, I'm a pretty boy hunter." Seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. can't go this way. Does not open from this side. Very important to remember. Alright, so let's review our buttons. R1 is attack. R2 is strong attack. L1 is eventually switch trick weapon. But when you're unarmed, it means you swing with both your hands as if you're holding something. And then L2 is fire gun, in theory. But we don't have gun, so right now it's punch. There is also an item that makes it punch permanently, which is very fun, and I've never actually played with it. Yep, and then typical, like, controls, review, notes in the first room, classic FromSoft, and then, of course, they put the gank enemy in. And by the gank enemy, I mean the enemy that's supposed to kill you so that you can start the game. This is something that I don't think they... Oh, shoot. Ow. I don't remember them doing in Dark Souls 1. I don't think that they did. Ow. Ow. Here's a fun little thing. The monitor I'm playing on is, I think, does 240 hertz. This game runs at 30 FPS most of the time. So sometimes you're gonna hear me during this playthrough go, "Ugh!" And that's when the screen has done something horrifying on my end. But for you guys, it looks normal because you're capturing in 60 frames per second. So, if anything, it just looks a little choppy. Yeah, so that enemy is supposed to kill you and send you to the Hunter's Dream. Very similar to the opening of Elden Ring. That first boss where you fight them in the courtyard, and if by some fucking miracle you kill them, because you're super good at the video game, you just fall off a cliff afterwards. That enemy is supposed to do that in this game. I find more often than not now, I'm able to fell that lycanthrope, meaning that I get to the Hunter's Dream via the lantern up here. There is an item down here, but you have to pass these two dudes. Oh, okay. Okay, and we're dead. So this is closer to how the game intends for you to come upon the Hunter's Dream. You even get this cute little cutscene. Which also, I just want to say, for a game where all of the cutscenes, I believe, except for maybe like the intro cutscenes, almost all of the cutscenes in this game are rendered in engine, and they all look gorgeous despite that fact. I say despite, I mean, I know that FromSoft is particularly good at that. It's like kind of their specialty, but there's something about the Bloodborne cutscenes and that like subtle dreamlike watercolor quality they have to them that I think just makes the game look really pretty. Alright, we're doing a quality build, which means, for right now, we're grabbing the saw cleaver. Hey, are you doing strength? Go for the hunter axe. Hey, are you doing skill? Go for the threaded cane. But no matter what build you're doing, unless you know what you're doing, blunderbuss. There's a very specific reason I say that. Hunter pistol does more damage, and you might go, but more damage, bigger number. Big number make good. Make brain happy. Yes, correct. Also, this thing has way... Oh god, Jesus, what is happening with the camera right now? This thing, this blunderbuss here, has a way wider parry window than the hunter pistol, because there are more projectiles. Can't purchase anything, because I don't have any echoes. Alright, we're going to the first floor sick room. I know for a fact that this game doesn't have, like, a PS5 upgrade, but man, I would love to have this game on PlayStation 5. I would like to own a PlayStation 5 and play this game on it, specifically just so that all of the load times are much shorter. Because that is my only... Well, no. That's not my only complaint with the game. The game in its current state, I would say, that is one of the major complaints for me, is just like, man, I wish the game played a little bit faster. So, something fun about the saw cleaver, it staggers really well. Oh, that dude has my echoes. And this dude is just a chump. So the reason I stopped talking there was so that you could hear that horrible beast scream. Because guess what? It's not only the first boss in the game, it's also the first optional boss in the game. Which is fun. And this is our friend.
Oh, you must be a hunter. And not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests.
It's okay, dude. You can say they're racist.
I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good.
So Gilbert's great. He is also a foreigner. And similarly, he is seeking a cure to his plague, which is why he came to Yharnam, the Center for Blood Healing. Which, by the way, hey man, blood healing by just taking in random beast blood and being like, look, it makes you big and strong. Yeah, it also is the reason your whole society is cursed and you have beast hunts and werewolves and other stuff that happens after a genre change.
Pale blood, you say? Never heard.
Yup, yeah, never heard of it.
If it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood. Or so they say. Yharnamites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the
This might be your chance. So another reason I try and let those lines play out is I actually really like a lot of the voice acting in this game. I think that a lot of the performances are very, very well done.
Across the valley to the east of Yharnam, you'll find the cathedral ward. Deep within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of pale blood, but that's your best bet if it's anything to do with unique types of blood.
Alright, so just like every other FromSoft game, hey, exhaust all your dialogue options with everybody. Everybody. Like, guaranteed. Every time. Also, hey, look, it's pretty. It's sunset. Okay. I feel like I've never had this many camera issues, but I've also never tried doing panoramics before. That's Cathedral Ward up there. Something I particularly love about this game, and really all FromSoft games, is like, that's a place that I'm gonna go to. Like, that platform up there, I can go there. That bridge over there, I can go there. Oh wait, actually, I don't think I can go to that platform, but I can go to that platform. We got some pebbles. Hello. Goodbye. So, I think Central Yharnam might be the best designed area in any FromSoft game. Period. It's so exceptional. I've talked about this a couple times on stream. I once, like, wrote not like a popular essay, but I wrote an essay on how Central Yharnam, the goal almost seems to be to teach you everything you would possibly need to know about the game. Right? Like, there are enemies who are designed with very long, slow swings just to give you a chance to hit the parry window. And they're, like, that band of enemies I just took out, like, hey, it's teaching you about patrols, a thing that didn't exist in Dark Souls 1. And no, it did exist in Dark Souls 2. Enemies did move around, but that's a little different. I'm not going to get super into the, like, Dark Souls 2 debate, but, like, hey, Miyazaki was directing this game while another team was working on Dark Souls 2.
Are you that outsider? Well, sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya?
I do love the vaguely, like, European, like, UK. I thought you had more to say. So all the doors with... Oh, Jesus. I normally don't take that long to go through this area. Those guys are normally up at the plaza. Hello. Oh my god. As you can tell, I don't use the sock lever much. Yep, okay. So all the doors with these little lanterns and lights on, like doors and windows you see with that, those are where NPCs are. You don't really see NPCs in person for a while. Oh, shoot. I got totally distracted and didn't do my usual clearing of this area. Oh, man. Oh. This feels like... It's been a while. This feels like going through the game almost for the first time again. Because it's like, I remember how I do all of these little patterns. But, man, when you get going, like, talking about the game, especially, like, talking about the area, and you're like, oh, and this thing, oh, and that thing. At least for me, you forget that you're also playing the game, and that the enemies still want to kill you, and it's not just like, oh, I'm giving a polite college tour of Central Yharnam. Yeah, but, like, they hide enemies around, like, fun little corners, and, like, there are patrols, and there are enemies with different attack speeds, all grouped up together. Oh, Jesus, what? I guess that's fair. I did. So, important detail. The reason I swung around back of that guy is I wanted to point out that unlike the Dark Souls series, and I think humanoid enemies in Elden Ring do this too, but you can't just get a, like, critical shot just by, like, being behind someone. This game you have to do the charged up attack and, like, stagger them. Which I will show when it's not a group of enemies and I'm not dying. This area is also the best place to come back to get blood vials, and to some degree Quicksilver bullets. There are areas where, like, there are more enemies that drop Quicksilver bullets, but frankly, they're almost all deeply frustrating. So in terms of, like, an area where you need to come back to farm items out, Central Yharnam, great. Really good. Almost everyone drops either Quicksilver bullets or blood vials. So I was talking a little bit about complaints I have with this game. I would argue no game is perfect, and I think that that's part of the fun. But there are a couple really glaring issues with Bloodborne that I try really hard to tell people, like, I hit the wrong button. Thank you, Elden Ring. So, a really glaring issue with this game is that all of your healing is consumable. Also, all of your parrying is consumable. That, I get why. I think that it has a really strange effect on game progression. Oh, okay. By the way, these guys are the guys who are here to teach you how to parry on that attack. So a big thing for me that is a glaring issue with this game is that your healing is blood vials and your parrying is Quicksilver bullets. And Quicksilver bullets also are your, like, spell casting, like, ammunition. So you get in this weird state where if you progress through the game too quickly, you actually start running out of resources because you're not stuck in areas farming out large quantities of it. But also, if you get stuck on a particular boss, like for me, there is a late game optional boss. I'm not going to spoil it for people who this might be their first time experiencing Bloodborne, but it's a particular boss in an area called Upper Cathedral Ward. Got stuck on that boss for a while. And the most frustrating thing about that boss was not that it was hard. Yeah. I'm a poor thing, and they're having a weird party. The main thing that was frustrating about that boss wasn't the difficulty, it was the fact that I literally burned through all of my stockpiled blood vials because I was that stuck on it the first time through. And as a result, I had to stop doing runs of this boss to go back to, like, Central Yharnam and Cathedral Ward and grind out echoes and blood vials and quicksilver bullets just to make more attempts at the boss. And it literally stopped that playthrough. Because it got to the point where I was sitting down to play sessions and it was like, okay, I have enough time to grind out resources or make attempts at the boss. Not both. Right? And that I think is a quality of life thing that I would really love to see changed. I think blood vials are cool and fine. To some degree, I do think... I'm trying to think of, like, what would be a good solution. Because if they just remaster the game, they're probably... If they just do a remaster of the game, like they just remastered it, they don't change much of anything, they just give it some graphics updates, they, like, optimize it a little bit. Ow, Jesus. Don't you love when you just get shot in the goddamn face? If they just do some graphical updates, some performance updates, so that it runs at like 60 FPS, the like textures and graphics and all that is like nice and clean, and they just do minor quality of life tweaks. My suggestion would be to fix the cost of blood vials and make it desperately cheap. Like, fix the cost of blood vials and quicksilver bullets and just make them very, very affordable. These guys kill everyone on their first run of the game. These guys are absolute menaces. Yep, here we go. If you can, it's great to kite them and try to get one at a time. The other thing is, if you're using the Hunter Axe, these guys are really tough. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. We're gonna run past them for right now. Because I would like to open the shortcut. Hello. Yeah, I know. Everyone's here. It's a party. Party time. What's up? So, you can use this strategy. I recommend it, especially your first time through. Or if you're just like a newer player. Because, hey, guess what? They get stuck on doorways, and then you can just hit them with a weapon that has a long reach. They can still hit you, don't get me wrong. Absolutely doable for them to hit you through this doorway. And sometimes they can glitch through the wall, and that's really fun. They'll just, like, fully clip through it. But I recommend doing this for the shortcut, because this is the most important shortcut. Maybe not in the game. I think there's one shortcut in the Forbidden Woods that I would argue is, like, more important and saves you more time. But this one is mission critical. It's also, I think, the best way to show off how really brilliant level design is in FromSoft games. Because, like, yeah, I just did a massive loop and made an amazing opening. You can also open this door, just not from this side. And you might be thinking, well then, what good is that? But you can go around this way. Yeah, so my actual solutions to a Bloodborne remaster for Blood Vials and Quicksilver Bullets is make them available in the shop at a fixed price, and the fixed price is incredibly low. Option, if they remaster the game, is I actually, and this is a game that I haven't played, admittedly, so I don't know if people are a huge fan of this system, but I really like the way Lies of P did pulse cells. I think that the idea of, like, burn through your pulse cells and then you recharge only the last one by, like, being aggressive and hitting enemies, is absolutely genius. And I think that it really captures the spirit of what this game was trying to do with the rally system. So if they remastered the game, I think implementing a mechanic similar to that would go a long way. Alternatively, you just do very much the Estus thing, where it's like you have X number of blood vials, you know, per rest. Other very specific requests in a remake would be, hey, I want to be able to rest at lanterns. I think it really sucks. I think it's a massive, massive problem for this game that you can't reset an area without traveling to the Hunter's Dream. I also would love to be able to fast travel to different areas.
You're a hunter, aren't you? Then, well, do you know of any safe places?
I do not know of any safe places. Not yet, at least. Alright, we're gonna kill this guy, and then we'll do the upper part here. Hey, what's up, bud? Also, hey, I recommend the Saw Cleaver because it does a lot of damage to the enemy type in Central Yharnam that the Hunter Axe doesn't. And honestly, the Threaded Cane does, but, like, not well. The Threaded Cane has to be in its transformed whip form. Although, if you are doing a Threaded Cane run, there is a weapon in this area that is very helpful for that. Is it this one, or is it the other one? I always get it wrong. But we're gonna go see Eileen first. Hey, guess what? This is the coolest NPC in the game.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all
Night of all nights.
Here, to welcome the new hunter.
Old Hunter's Mark.
Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts? No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
Shake off cape.
What are you still... Enough trembling in your boot. A hunter must hunt.
A hunter must hunt.
What are you still... A hunt...
So Eileen the Crow's the coolest. Her outfit is rad. Can you see her weapons on her here? It doesn't look like you can. No. No, you just see like the model of the the Crow Hunter's garb. Okay, cool. Well, that's Eileen. She's awesome. Her quest line is really fun. Is she the Solaire of Bloodborne? Hey, if you know Bloodborne pretty well, let me know in the comments. Is Eileen the Solaire of Bloodborne? Because I think she might be. How? Jesus. She's not as clueless as Solaire, though. Or, what's the guy in Demon Souls? Oscar? No. Oscar's the knight who lets you out of the cell in the Undead Asylum, I think. But you know what I'm talking about? That FromSoft NPC archetype where it's like it's the kinda clueless guy who's like very friendly and nice, and you're just like, I just want to help you. I feel like Eileen is like the very competent version of that. Because I can't think of an NPC who's like, they're the dummy, you know? Oh, no, you know what? I do know who it is. I'm gonna let people say in the comments anyway, because I want to hear people tell me I'm dumb wrong. And there's a more Solaire-esque... Ow, Jesus. I thought I had landed right where that post was so I could avoid him, but he got me. There is definitely one character who strikes me as more of a Solaire archetype than Eileen, actually. Come to think of it, there's like a lot of NPCs where I'm like, in this... Oh, Jesus. I fully forgot there was a third crow there. Oh, man. Oh, you got me good. You got me. Alright. Here's an oil urn, and here's a dead end. Yeah, there are a lot of the, like, classic Dark Souls NPC archetypes that I feel like are either mixed up or not present in Bloodborne, come to think of it. Like, we've definitely got the... Oh, okay. You just want to climb a ladder? That's fine. Okay. Hi. I've literally never seen this. Did that idiot just jump off again? Nice. Like we've definitely got the Lautrec equivalent. Or I guess Lautrec didn't come first, but I feel like he's probably the NPC people think of when they think of that archetype, is Lautrec rather than Yurt. I think it's this one. Oh. I didn't pick up that item. That's cool. Boop-a-doop, boop-boop. Rats are so deadly. Damn it, it's the other one. It's always the other one. That's a very good item that I will need to go back for. Frustratingly. So I hate these rats. They're very dangerous, as are all rats in all Souls games. Also, hey, I picked up Madman's Knowledge. When you pick this item up, use it immediately. Just trust me. Just trust me. It's very cool to use that item immediately. Because otherwise, you have to go through a whole other rigmarole to unlock leveling up. You gotta, like, go and kill a boss. I'm like... I mean, if you're playing a FromSoft RPG, do you really want to, like, kill a boss? I mean, come on. Saw Spear! Alright. Bye, Saw Cleaver. It's Saw Spear time! I love the Saw Spear. This might be my favorite weapon. At least early game. It's so good. The reach is so good. It's got a stab. Like, come on. And it's fast, too. Like, doesn't have that, like, heavy axe feel that the Saw Cleaver does. It's just so good. It's also just literally the Saw Cleaver, but for skill-based builds. But I love the Saw Spear. I think it is a highly underrated weapon. Hey, if you got the Threaded Cane as your starting weapon, it's really good for these guys. Put it in the whip mode, and just fucking whack at these dudes from far away. Because they're needlessly tough, and I hate them. And you can't critical them. Can't be done. And as soon as you pick up that item, they all wake up. Which is why I was like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of these guys first. Because they they're slow, but they hit hard. They're also just disgusting. So that's another reason to do a weapon where you get to stand far away and not have to worry about their bullshit. Oh, I was out of stamina. Ow, Jesus Christ. See what I mean? It's like they're slow, but then they hit so hard out of nowhere. There's some pros. I love you, Saw Spear. It's also, the hitbox on the Saw Spear is really wide, which I love. It's probably similar or the same as the Saw Cleaver, but feels different. Like, also, oh, right, pros. Hello. How easy is it to see that on your guys' end? Oh, it's pretty easy. Okay. On my monitor, that whole hallway is like super bright. And so I'm just staring and I'm like, it's a big pig. It's a big pig down that hallway. I remember the first time I played through the game, I was like, what's down there? Which is really what they want you to do. They want you to go, what's down there? And then get fucking owned. My god, we've been going for like an hour already. Alright. I am gonna go, grab one last thing. And then, I will see y'all next time. So we're gonna head back to the Hunter's Dream real quick. Beckoning Bell and Silencing Blank. And Old Hunter Bell. And hey, did you get the Madman's Insight and consume it? Now you can level up. Isn't that fun? You don't even have to fight a boss first. But we're not going to level up right now. We're going to buy armor. We're going to buy probably my favorite armor set in the game. Style-wise. I just think it's very fun. It's not a particularly good armor set, but it's just really fun. Like, you got all the little vials hanging out. You got, like, belts and tassels, and you got, like, all sorts of leather. And, like, the hunter gloves are, like, leathery. They don't have that, like, silver, like, bracer look to them. I just really like the Yharnam Hunter set. I think it's really great. Here we are. Alright.
Hello,
Quick levels.
I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit.
Channeling blood echoes.
Let me stand close. Now,
Bearer, bearer, seek lest. That's a Dark Souls 2 reference. I played that game, and no one can say I didn't, even though I don't like it very much. Cool. We're gonna go 15 Vit. And we're gonna go 14 Endurance.
farewell, good hunter.
So, everyone has their own ways of building their characters in this game. I highly recommend doing... Well, I don't necessarily recommend it, but I like to do level by, like, divisibles of 5. Where it's like, hey, I got to 15. Okay, I can leave 15 Vit for a while. I'm at 14 Endurance. One more, I can leave Endurance for a while. We'll go skill to 15, and then I'll look up the minimum requirements for strength for stuff, and we'll hit that. It's probably not 15, so that'll bother me for the rest of the playthrough, but it'll be fine. And then we'll probably level, like, skill, arcane, and Vit rotating, because once you get to, like, the mid game, you go from 15 to 20, 20 to, like, 30, and then, of course, the soft cap for most stats is 40. So 40 is always the, like, once you hit that, you're, like, pretty solid on that stat to the end game. A lot of people do it totally differently, where they're like, level your damage stat to 40 and then, like, fill in your build from there. However you want to do it, perfectly fine. I just like doing it this way because I find that it really, like, gives you a pretty balanced experience, and it makes some of those, like, damage levels later on feel a lot more rewarding, because you're like, yeah, I killed a boss and now I'm doing more damage, and that's awesome. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. So I will see you on the next episode, and we will dig into some more Bloodborne. Alright? See you, everyone.